may need to make sure I mute my shit so that I don't triple echo on this bitch.
Okay, so you should be streaming now.
Yes.
How can I get to Twitch? No! Jesus, you stupid machine. Just go. Jesus! Stop!
Yo, okay, no, that music ain't gonna work.
Twitch.
That wasn't sick, nasty. Whatever. Hold on. Come on, give me some hot fire here, Retrowave. What's up, LT? What's up, Tofu? I've never had people, like, immediately chat when I started streaming. I feel weird. Yo, so... Actually, I don't know. This weekend has been, like, double coins on NHL for Ultimate Team there. So last night, I just, like, went to town and played a bunch of games, and now, like, my team's pretty A1. I was able to...
What?
My team's pretty A1 now. Like, I made bank last night playing games. Like, I had one line that... Like, all of my lines were, like, big dudes with big shots. Except for one. Because I had... There were 3 dudes that were really fast and, like, were good passers and worked together that way. But, like, now in these higher divisions, they're pretty shit. Like, I need more big people. So I got a Pavelski, Rick Nash, and Evander Kane, and it's, like, beautiful. Solid third line.
Word.
Alright, this is a lot better. What is this? Frank music. Okay. I gotta be careful not to tab out of PowerPoint right now because I don't have my other presets ready to go, and if I tab out of PowerPoint, it'll be like straight up like.
Boned.
Well, no, it'll be like everything, like because I have it on my main display right now, so it's got all my shit right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't want people seeing my shit.
It's got a different Twitch account from around here.
Y'all in the chat, sound. I mean, I don't think you can test video right now, but sound looking good. Sounding good. Sounding good. You know. Do I have any dope ass videos I can play while I'm waiting to hit? Oh my god, we got 2 minutes. Eh. What do I got here? It's not like the video needs to be good or anything though, because like it's a fucking PowerPoint. Like Even if it's bad, you're not gonna fucking notice. So.
Oh.
Oh,
Can I do this without having to mute my TV? No, I can't.
Oh, beauty! I get to listen to myself twice now. That's cool. I like it. Oh my god, it's right here. Where is it? I know it's right here. How is this sorted? What am I doing? It's almost 7 anyway. Fuck it. So how many people does we have signed up right now? Let's see. We have 44 returning drivers. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 brand new drivers. So we're at 51? 53. 51. The fuck? 53 drivers. So this is either going to be like... No, it is going to be a super long weekend. There's no either or to that one. 53. And to those 53, I do wish to thank them. You have no idea how many people I got messaging me saying, no, this track's gay, not doing it. Like, that's the point. It's supposed to be gay. I mean, hard. I mean... God, if you're skipping this round because you think the track's too hard, you may as well just not show up the rest of the season, so... Alright, how many people we got here right now? Oh, okay. I'll give it like a couple more minutes here. I was saying I wasn't streaming was I downloaded a new version of OBS, and so I lost all my fancy graphic presets and everything, so this is not going to be as fancy as what the previous ones were. Actually, it was just Texas. Texas was the only one that I tried different stuff. It's dinner time in the puppet household. I do, however, have a poll for you guys later, but it may or may not mean anything. It's just about scheduling stuff on Friday. So there is that to look forward to, of course. Shit, I also got to come up with a code word for the bonus point for this round. It's been like way too long, so. And before we sit here for 10 minutes waiting for Puppet to come back. I wouldn't do that, though. Oh, really? That's pretty good, LT. It's not like inside jokey enough, though. It needs to be danker than that. But not as dank as Harambe. Because that's That's a whole nother. Save that for another time. No, puppy, you don't tell me what to do. I'm gonna wait now. See how we're doing on audio. Audio good. Levels are looking okay. I think I'm gonna take it down just a tad. See, the problem with the making Harambe the bonus point code is that, like, it's too common of a thing. If I just got message from people saying dicks out for Harambe, I'd literally just be like, yeah, man, sick, and would not think about the bonus point part. Oh, there it is, Tyler. Oh, I'm not gonna say it out loud. Oh my god. I'm gonna fucking start crying again. Alright, it's just about 7:05, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Welcome everybody to the drivers meeting for round 4 of 6 and the Formula Gnarshred 2016 championship. This round is going to be at the Yas Marina circuit, and this is probably going to be, I want to say that this could be the most cancerous, like, shit show round that we'll have this year, but there's room with the next two. There's room to go farther than what we'll go. I don't know. I'm not wording properly right now. It's okay. So yeah, first of all, welcome to the back nine. This is the second half of the year. This is the half of the year that is going to destroy friendships and lives, and I'm going to turn the music off just a little bit. If, like I said this earlier, if you chose not to do this round because it's difficult, don't bother showing up the rest of the year, because the last 3 events here are going to be super tough. I'll get to more of that in a second. I'm going to go over, first of all, where we're at in the championship, how we're going to break down the schedule for next weekend, and then we'll get into the track stuff, and then we'll be done. So, yeah, so like I said, Atlanta was tough, but everybody knows it. So, it's not tough, so to speak. Le Mans had the one, the straightaway, which was difficult, but overall it was manageable. In Texas, I think everybody had a ton of fun with. Now it's time to have, quote-unquote, more fun. This track is the longest one that we do. It's got 4 transitions, which is a lot more. It's, a typical drift track usually has, typical layout has 3 transitions, typically, max. So we're adding 1 more to it, and you can really feel, like, how much longer this is than your typical drift section. And this is also the only round that we're going to do at night. And I think everybody's seen, we are going to split it up. Friday is going to be during the day. Saturday is going to be at night. So technically it isn't all at night, but it's the only round that we're going to even have night. Look at Killer Meme Star. Get out of here. That's got to be a teammate. And like I said, it only gets tougher from here. We have this one at night. The next one's going to be in the rain. And then Sonoma, you're going to be surrounded by walls and death and destruction. Now, like I said earlier, like, we know that this is a challenge. Like, this is a tough track. That's why we're doing it. So, the less complaining we have about how hard this track is, the better. And I've already gotten a lot of, I'm not going to say flack, but a lot of just, like, backhanded, like, this track's dumb, this track's gay, whatever. So, And like I said, with the first half is more about who, because the tracks were slightly easier, it was more about who tandems the best, whereas the last three here are going to be more about who can learn the track the best. I think at the end of the day, what you're going to have is the top guys are going to be the guys that really, put the time in to learn the line, know where their strengths and weaknesses are on this humongous section, and they don't exactly have to be the guys that are the best tandem drivers. So right now in the championship, Yoshi is still our points leader, but mathematically in this round, Bucket, Jaquiz, Wanted, and Gain could all potentially take first place away. So the points championship is still quite close. I think Shadow was doing the math the other day. He was giving me all the figures, all the possibilities there. Most of our potentially top 20 has a shot at breaking into the top 3, so we could have a pretty tight championship race by Sonoma. And then we had just a little bit of mix-up with the team championship. CJD pushed by 50-50 because Gingerbeard wasn't able to make it. So the other half of the 50-50, only 50 of the 50-50 scored points for that round. So that's still pretty tight. The Nations one I'm not even going to mention because USA is dominating, like in everything else. And why did I write half of this stuff? Yeah, okay. Starting this round 2, because we want there to be disparity in the battles and the results. And, of course, for the way that DJ Searchill drove in the last round, your point standings no longer going to determine your starting position. It'll come down to how you did in the previous round instead. Mostly because I didn't, half was because of the fact that DJ started in like Div 6 or whatever and just destroyed all the way up and finished 4th overall. And if we were to go back to point standings, he would have to do that all over again. And even though all these guys, in top 16 lost, they would have been still in the higher divisions and everything. So now this is going to place more weight on how you do each round. You're not going to be able to fall back on your previous event performances anymore. Now you're going to have to stay ahead of the game every single round. So basically we would have the guys that are... when we go and look at Div 4 in a second, you'll see Div 4 is full of these guys that are high up in the championship right now, but just haven't shown up to the last event or so. And the top division is now full of all these guys that have come up either out of nowhere or have just really been on a hot streak. They're going to be the ones that make up Div 1 and Div 2. Now, of course, just to go over this real quick for anybody that's new, although I don't think we have a whole lot of new people on the stream right now. We don't do a traditional top 32 bracket that you see used in FD or what other series you follow. I think almost every professional series uses a bracket. What we do is we have all the drivers set up into groups of 8 based upon their either past performances or their skill level. And in a King of the Hill kind of style, each group of 8 will take on the next group of 8 and move their way up to finish off. Like, we have a top 16 bracket, but the bottom half of the top 16 bracket is filled up, or is what everybody's battling for. And I really want to make a better diagram for it than the one that I found made by the guy that created this system. So I could show you guys how that works a little bit better. But once we start getting into it, once we have everybody signed up and I make the actual bracket, you guys are going to see it pretty clear. The best guys from each division will take each other on, and then the second best guys will take all each other on, so on and so forth. Just imagine King of the Hill. That's how we get up there. So there's no qualifying. It's all just you sign up. Tell me a little bit about yourself, or I'll look up, where you are in the point standings up to this point, and then we'll seed you from there, and then you just immediately hop right into battles. So, and I just said all of that as well, and I said all of that. All right, so here's the thing with Friday. What we have been doing is rather hectic, and I had an idea of how to change that, but it comes down to whether or not you guys are all about it. What we've been doing is saying, all right, we need all the Div 6 guys and all the Div 5 guys, which is about, at most 16 people, and having them all in a lobby at once and going through a lineup of battles. Now, this can take a long time, that first 240 battle in Texas. This can take a lot of time. So a different way of doing this would be, as I said, how all of the first seeds in each division face each other. Just doing it that way where we have basically all of, if where you are on the bracket, we have all of your battles all at once up until we get to the stuff we have to do on Saturday. Which, let me pull up the thing. This is what we've been doing right here. So we said, all right, do these battles, these 8 battles here. Okay, the winners go into here. We do those 8. Each one of these blocks is a lobby. And instead of doing it that way, we do it this way where we have all of your matchups at once here. And we do it all together. So you, in one lobby, you will do all of the battles that you would have before the Div 3, the top 24, so to speak. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to word this properly. I was telling Ogre before we started. It's I know what I'm trying to say. I know how this works. I can't communicate it very well. So here, let me post the... If you can understand anything that I just said, I have a poll right here. If y'all want to let me know what you think. Doing it this other way here is, I think, would make events go a little bit faster. And it would also help some people that can't, some new people that can't make it to the very first lobby. It'll help them. It'll help us be able to schedule things better. But I know people like to do things in order. And I know you guys that are in the higher divisions like to go later in the night and everything. Just let me know whether you want to do this way, do all your battles at once, or do it in order through the division. This is for Friday night only. We're not changing anything about Saturday. This is just Friday night only, and I just skipped ahead 5 slides in my preview thing. Basically how our schedule works. This is how we've been doing it, which is what I'm going to use as a placeholder here. Friday night we're going to start up at 6 o'clock. We're going to do either our Div 6 and Div 5 battles, which I think we're going to need more than 6 divisions for this round. We have a lot of guys signing up, so it may take a little bit more time. We may have to do a Div 7, Div 6, and then whatever. And then by the hour, we'll do each new lobby. But then absolutely stop at 9 o'clock Eastern. Now, if we were to do it the other way, I think it'd be every half hour we'd get a new lobby going. And then we'd have that last hour to just do anything, any kind of makeup, any kind of, late guys that show up. But that's typically how we run Friday. And then Saturday, this is not changing here. We get up and going at 3:30. The top 8 from Friday will take on our Division 2 guys. And then from there, we'll have a top 16 bracket ready to go. And then from there, it's your traditional drift competition. And usually we take about 2 hours to get through our top 16. And we'll be all wrapped up by 6:30. Unless we have 5 million one more times, or we get that 240 battle from Texas again. It should only take 2 hours. And of course, with this track, this event here, Friday's in the day, Saturday's in the night. So if you know you're Div 1, Div 2, if you know you're in that top 16 there, like, don't worry about making a day setup. Like, just focus on driving a night. And if you are anything else, if you're brand new or not our first 2 divisions, then make sure you have enough practice in the day and night, because there is 100%, there is a major grip difference between the two. So as of right now, this is only the first 5 divisions. We have a lot more than this, but this is just to show you guys a little bit of what I mean regarding our divisions and everything. Div 1 is our top 8 drivers from Texas. So Jaquiz, Kuda, and Bucket, that was our podium. Sea Turtle was 4th. And the rest were our top 8 finishers. And there's the rest of our 16. And then these are the guys that made it to Saturday, but didn't move past the first round. And the rest has been settled by point standings. So what I mean by when I say you do all your battles in your string on Friday at once, this is what I mean right here. Like, that's a string. That's what I mean by battle thread, a battle string. So I would get, and this is not the way it would work, because these guys would not battle on Friday. So let me just do this. Basically, I'd say we get Puppet, Shadow, Pulverizer into a lobby. Pulverizer face Shadow. Winner that would face Puppet. Boom, we're done. 10 Siren, Giro, Koala, get the 3 in a lobby. Boom, 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 done. And most likely we'd take probably the 6 of you and get that all done at once. But that's what I mean when I say battle string there. I'm going to use that like a lot. So, and now of course this right here could change. This 1 through 3 is set in stone unless someone decides not to show up, or someone says that they can't make it. But this all right here could change. So this is very unofficial at this point. We have at least one more division over here that isn't being shown. So, all right. Now we get to the track. Now we get to stuff I can talk a little bit better about. Tire warm-up. Anywhere that's not pictured on that map, and anywhere like directly behind grid, is, I worded that so backwards. Tire warm-up is allowed anywhere not pictured on the track or directly behind grid, depending on what's going on. During practice, for sure, and following like the ends of battles and everything, make sure you're going counterclockwise around the track, like around the like normal direction of the racetrack. It's a long section, so especially for practice, I don't want everybody just sitting there at the end, the finish line, waiting for everybody to come through and then turn around to drive all the way back through the thing. Just keep hot lapping around. And now there's only one, I guess there's more than one spectator zone, but I have pictures of all the different spots where you can be if you're not battling or if you're not driving. But just know, as a default, you got to be behind a barrier, and most likely you'll be on the inside of this corner right there. I skipped over one there. Yeah, if you're not battling, go to the spectator zone. Yeah, just said that. If you know your battle's up next, don't cut through the middle and make us wait for you. Come out this way, go around the back, meet it from behind. That way we're not waiting on you to send the next set of guys. And remember, if you're not battling, don't be moving around in between, or don't be moving around while the track is hot. While we're trying to run battles and everything. As soon as you see cars moving on track for an official run or whatever, you should be stationary wherever you are. Where we want you to stage, not the beginning of the rumble. I just didn't edit that from the last round. There's going to be a white line on the middle of that corner, right after pit exit. That'll be where you guys will line up, and you're going to 60 to the end of the rumble strip. Your entries, which I have to bring up because I saw a couple people on my Xbox feed not initiating where they're supposed to. I saw people driving through the first corner, then initiating into where IC1 is. We want you to be initiating. I have a picture to show it before, but we want you to be drifting before that corner. It's just a suggested. I just call it a suggested apex because we want you to be there, but we're not going to judge you on that corner. But you've got to be drifting. That's all I meant by that. And we want these entries to be quick. Like you're going to see as soon as you get off the roll, like there's literally there's less than 100 feet before you need to initiate. So it's going to be quick. If you're doing this big e-brake hang, if you're throwing it to 90 or whatever, it's not going to work. And if it does, it's going to screw up the guy behind you. So please keep entries quick snaps over. E-brake clutch kick is fine. Just make sure you're still accelerating basically through that corner. Here is the white line that I'm talking about here. Lead car is always going to be hugging the right side there. Our left, but right facing the direction there. And the chase is going to stay within this box directly to the left of them. And as I mentioned, this is all this out here is tire warm up. Just don't be close to this little area right here. And now this is a little bit zoomed out, so it's a little bit off. The perception's a little bit off. But this is where the roll ends right here. You see where the rumble strip ends. Boom, you take off. And it's a really short little stretch before you actually have to initiate. But we want you to be hugging this corner, this side of the track. And initiating, drifting into this corner here. Before you, or we want you drifting when you enter into the infield there. As so. I would say the limit for you to be drifting, or I'm not going to make some stupid rule right now. You just need to make sure you're initiating on this straightaway before you enter into the infield. So yeah, from there then you have IC1, which is basically at the apex of the infield corner there. You're going to be a little bit off throttle for a second, but it's not enough for it to be a slowdown zone like you see we have at the ends here. We want to see you guys maintaining a decent amount of speed through here. This is going to be a big angle sector for a second, but then all the way through here, we're not really looking for a whole lot of, or all the way through here until the outside zone, we're not really looking for a whole lot of angle. Regarding the outside zone too, the wall or the white line, like the edge of the track, is fine. If you go for the wall and make it clean, you're going to get maybe the slightest of advantages over someone that doesn't. It's not something we're going to tell you to go out there and look for. Like it'd be one of those situations where you guys did exactly the same thing everywhere else, but someone else got to the wall, or one guy got to the wall and one guy got to the wall and made it clean, and the other guy didn't. That'd be the only way that would come into question. So do what you do what you're comfortable with. You're not going to be knocked for not going out to the wall. And And then you have the apex. The apexes of both of these really tight 90-degree corners. And then from there, you just have 2 outside zones. You hit that rumble out here, and then fill the outside of this hairpin. Now, you see how it's split in half here. We understand this is a long track, so we've split it in halves regarding zeros. This is the only thing that this applies to. If you commit a non-run ending 0, so like an off or a straighten through one sector but not the other, you're not going to be zeroed for the run. So like if you straighten out through this outside zone, don't feel like you should end your run and call it a day just because you know you straightened through here and that's going to be a 0, because it's not. It's going to be half a 0, if that makes any friggin' sense. It's just not going to be like, it's not going to be a situation where like, well, this guy zeroed, this guy didn't, ball game. It's going to be like, that's a major mistake because you straightened in that sector. That's all I mean by that. However, if you do straighten here and here, then that's a 0. We're just trying to protect you guys, knowing that this is a longer layout. We don't want you to be discouraged should you screw up in either half. Now, if you spin out through either one of these, then of course that's a 0. Like, your run's over. It's only for non-run ending zeros and mistakes. So now, see this motherfucker right here. This thing. Beware. The physics on these are not very refined. If you get one of these between you and this wall, it could potentially flip your car. More than likely, unless we remember to do it before we get battles going, make sure someone in the lobby knows to just knock these out and push them far away. Because I don't want to see these end a battle right here. I don't even want to have to deal with these, as far as like if you leave them up, somebody hits them and it causes them to like straighten out or screw up, even though they were technically on track. Like, I don't even want to have to deal with that. So if somebody in the lobby can make sure to just knock these out and push these down there, that'd be like A1 help. And then when you exit this corner, there's another thing I just want to bring up. The right line is to be almost inside of this rumble strip and close to the grass. That way